right, so today's movie review is The Wedding March from 1926, starring and directed by Erich von Stroheim. Now, let me show you the critic list description. Against the backdrop, Against the backdrop of Vienna's hidebound case system, aristocrat and army officer Nicky is attracted to peasant Mitzi, although he knows it cannot last. Acquiescing to familial pressure, he ultimately gives her up to marry the more socially acceptable, albeit crippled, heiress Cecilia. Mitzi, for her part, is heartbroken and must resign herself to marrying the churlish butcher Shawnee Eberly. Now, I'm totally butchering the names there. I do not speak German. And I believe it was filmed in America. It had to have been right because it was Paramount. But anyways, that's the description of the film. Now let me show you my thoughts on the plot. The plot, I give it a 3 out of 5. I thought the story was good. The romance and the tragic ending were really good. I genuinely was not expecting it at all. But I will say this is definitely an example of style over substance. I thought the costumes were immaculate and amazing looking. And then the story itself was just okay. It wasn't super great or anything like that. Very generic and whatnot. But I really was impressed with the technical aspect of it. And I'll get into that later on. But that's why I gave the plot a 3 out of 5. Pretty generic. But again, the ending is what sold it for me. And I think will sell it for most people, for sure. Alright, let's move on to the acting. The acting, I gave it a 4 out of 5. I thought it was good. Especially the scenes with Fay Wray and Erich von Stroheim. I thought they did fantastic. They were definitely the best actors overall. And also the guy who played the butcher, I believe they said his name is Shaney or something like that. And he had that weird styled hair. He was great as like a menacing kind of brutish guy. I thought he did excellent there. Overall, though, I liked the cast, and I wish we had more scenes with Fay Wray and Erich von Stroheim. They were so good together on screen. And just as a side note, apparently for Fay Wray, this was one of her favorite movies to work on. And she wished that people would ask her about this and not about King Kong, which she was much more known for as playing, I believe, Anne Darrow. I can't remember if that's the 2005 character name or not, but she plays that character, right? The one who's picked up and taken by King Kong. She wished people asked her more about this and not that one, but it is what it is, right? You pick all these projects, and sometimes you're known for something that you don't expect or aren't super proud of, and that's the case with Fay Wray here. All right, let's move on to the set design. All right, so the set design, I gave it a 4 out of 5. Again, super amazing. The costumes, the detail, the look of it. Especially in the cathedral and whatnot, it really felt like they were on location in aristocratic, I believe it's supposed to be Germany or Austria. Excellently well crafted, well put together. Von Stroheim was very meticulous, and you could definitely see here. It's not perfect, but I liked it a lot. 4 out of 5. All right. Cinematography, 5 out of 5. He did so good here. I don't know if he was the sole cameraman. Probably not. But the shots and how they were set up and the staging and whatnot were so excellent. Especially scenes like this one. I absolutely adored and loved it. It was a beautifully, beautifully shot film. Especially that wedding scene at the end of the film. Amazing, just all around, just amazing camera work of this town that they were in, and the different things people were going through. Excellent. 5 out of 5. All right, the music. So the version I saw on YouTube had some of the restored music to it. Shout out to, I think they're called the Vitaphone Project. I'll have that linked to the clipped version of this review, but it was excellent. Really well put together. They even had some of the sound effects because this was a film that had some early sound in it, incorporated into it, using the Vitaphone wax system that would sync up with the camera, just in some of the scenes. I forgot to mention in camera work, but there was a scene that was colored over with all like the soldiers marching around the town and all of that. Looked amazing. And the music to go with it was really good too. So yeah, the music is the music from the version I saw is the original score. Felt very excellent, very cinematic. Again, wasn't perfect. Like if I heard it, I'll be honest, I wouldn't recognize it. But I really liked how it fit in with the story. So 4 out of 5 for sure. All right, so overall that brings my score to a 4 out of 5, which is an 80% on Criticalist. Now let me break down my Criticalist score. All right, graphic language. There's some in some of the title cards. There's no spoken dialogue for the most part, other than some of the singing scenes. Like in the chapel, you have the chorus people or the choir rather. There's some dialogue there, but no graphic language is spoken. It's all in title cards, and it's very, very tame. Violence? Not really. Just some talk of violence and some like shoving and fighting, but no blood really. Nothing gruesome or anything like that. Nudity, sexual content. There's some kissing in some low-cut dresses, kind of the time period that this takes place in, but nothing explicit. No nudity. Political bias? None. Family friendly? This is a harmless film. I think it would be perfectly fine for kids to watch. I just don't think they would enjoy it. I think they'd be pretty bored with it. And that kind of leads into entertainment value. It was very entertaining for me. I thought some of the romance scenes at the end genuinely shocked me. I thought those were some of the best moments of the whole movie. It's a very interesting story to follow along with. Now the question is, does it need to be... the version I saw was 2 hours. I don't think it needed to be 2 hours. I definitely think the pacing could have been trimmed down a bit, especially for then, because as I discussed in Greed, von Stroheim was known for going crazy with how much he would film and not wanting to edit it. Like, no, you're destroying my image of it. It's like, there's a lot that could be said with little, my friend. But it was fine. So overall, I like this movie a lot. I do recommend it. I actually liked it a lot more than Foolish Wives, which is another film he made with a similar character. I want to say it's actually the same one, but I just really like the drama in this one and the characters and all of that. It's not a perfect movie, but I had a good time with it, and I do highly recommend it. All right, well, those are my thoughts overall on The Wedding March from 1928, and that... Is it 1928? Yeah, 1928, and that concludes today's movie review.